Childhood and Growing Up. This is for B.Ed first year, exclusively for Pondicherry University, explained by Dr. Shubha, Vasavi College of Education, Pondicherry. So now we are in Unit 7, representing the realities. Under this, you will be reading notion of stereotype, gender, class, poverty, childhood and adolescence in media and social media, realities of present age children, different socio-economic status of society, child labor in household, in unorganized factors, bondage labor in remote villages, that is bonded labor, child abuse and child trafficking, child law, imitation of significant events. Now, child labor. Child labor is a system of involving children in any economic activity. Children at the age of playing engage themselves into economic activity for their family. Child labor can be seen throughout the country in a wide way. Now, what are the major causes of child labor? In India, it's unemployment, poverty, illiteracy, and low standard of living. Due to unemployment of the parents, children do not get proper education and are forced to get involved in child labor. Educated people are less likely to engage their child as child laborers. Educated people want their children to go to schools. They want to maintain a certain level of standard and live a respectable life. But on the contrary, poor and illiterate people are not even aware of the evil effects of child labor. But when we talk about child labor, we have to think about child rights also. A child, see, just imagine what faith a child has in their parents. To whichever school we are sending, the child will go. The child will not say no. Whatever we give, the child faithfully eats. Whatever we do, they trust the parents. And they trust and they think that the parent is doing everything good for them. But some parents are sending them not for school, for work. So that also, with the trust, the child goes. So that we have to consider. The picture speaks. Child labor. Exploitation in the form of child labor. India has the world's most number of people under modern slavery. There's 14 million. This includes slave labor conditions like bonded labor, sex trafficking, it is using for sex, child labor, domestic help. Children today continue to be employed in hazardous occupations. Over 12 million children work in construction, manufacturing of beedies, bangles and fireworks industry. If you go to Sivagasi, you can see many of the children are working there. A 2016 amendment to Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986 hasn't established a blanket ban, instead legalizing a form of child labor by allowing children to work in family enterprises, creating scope for misuse. So this we need to condemn. So it's an inhuman practice. The mental growth of the children is spoiled. They get less time and opportunity to go to school. They are deprived from education, which makes them illiterate, obstructs individual growth. Standard of living of people remains low. Child labor destroys their playful childhood. They are the future pillars of economy, and involving them into child labor will only make those pillars weak, and we will not have a good nation. Ultimately, child labor affects the country's growth and prestige. So what can be the solution to child labor? Strict law should be there. Imparting education and knowledge. If incomes of the parents can be increased, then it's possible that they will go and get education. Government will have to take more steps towards proper enforcement of labor laws. People who are employed and are above poverty line should take steps. And there should be more philanthropists, and they should work for charity and for child rights. It will benefit not only the society, but it will definitely, the country at large will be benefited. Children working in unorganized sector. So what is this unorganized? It will not have an office or a building, and it will not be registered under the labor laws. So the unorganized labor is overwhelming in terms of its number range, and therefore they are omnipresent throughout India, because no need to pay tax, no need to pay this, that, and no need to contribute to EPF and ESI and all that. So then in their daily wages you can give, and whatever work you give, the child will do, will not question why. As the unorganized sector suffers from the cycles of excessive seasonality of employment, means only in season the employment will be there. Like in mango season, selling mangoes, so it's a seasonal employment. Majority of the unorganized workers does not have stable, durable avenues of employment. Even those who appear to be visibly employed are not gainfully and substantially employed, means they are employed, but they are not gainfully employed, means they don't get much salary, and PF and other benefits will not be there, indicating the existence of disguised unemployment. So this is more or less, we can say, unemployment only. This is not an employment where they will not have all the benefits of a salaried person. So in unorganized sector, the workplace is scattered and fragmented. There's no formal employer-employee relationship will be there. In rural areas, they are highly stratified on caste and community consideration. But in urban areas, while such consideration are much less, it cannot be said that it is altogether absent. Basically, we have migrant workers from rural areas. They come from villages and they work in the city. And they don't get leave. And if at all they take leave, their salary will be cut. Workers in the unorganized sector are usually subject to indebtedness and bondage, as their meager income cannot meet with their livelihood needs. So they always take advance from the owner, from the employer, and then they will be paying interest to that. The unorganized workers are subject to exploitation significantly by the rest of the society. They receive poor working conditions. The wages are much below than that of formal sector, and their work status of inferior quality of work. They will not be given proper remuneration and proper boarding or lodging. They do not receive sufficient attention from the trade unions. Inadequate and ineffective labor laws or standards relating to the unorganized sector, means during Diwali or during New Year, all the shops, the retail shops, will employ them. But after that, it's a seasonal employment. So they will not give them proper food, proper place to sleep and all that. They work and work and work, but they will not be given proper treatment. Now we are coming to child abuse. What is this child abuse? Maltreatment of child. Physical, sexual, psychological mistreatment, or neglecting a child, especially by a parent or other caregiver. It may include any act or failure to act by a parent or other caregiver that results in actual or potential harm to a child, and can occur in a child's home also, or in the organizations or in schools or communities where the child is interacting. Means if anybody is mistreating the child psychologically, physically assaulting the child, or sexually assaulting the child, then this is child abuse. In India, we don't have proper rules, but even in the US, if a child is mistreated even by the parent, the police will come and they will take the parent, and the child will be sent to a juvenile home. The World Health Organization distinguishes 4 types of child maltreatment: physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional and psychological. Now what's this physical abuse? Physical abuse often does not occur in isolation, but as a part of a constellation of behaviors, including authoritarian control, anxiety provoking behavior, lack of parental warmth, hitting, beating, kicking, biting, strangling, scolding, burning, poisoning, and suffocating the child. Sexual abuse. This is a form of child abuse in which an adult or any adolescent abuses a child for sexual stimulation. This includes asking or pressuring a child to engage in these activities. Indecent exposure of the genitals of a child, genitals to a child, displaying pornography, actual sexual contact, physical contact with the child's genitals. So, all these are to produce child pornography, all these are sexual abuse. Now, these days in India, it is in volumes. We have to control this. What is the psychological abuse? Spurning, terrorizing, isolating, corrupting, denying emotional responsiveness, neglect, a repeated pattern of caregiver behavior or extreme incidents that convey to the children that they are worthless, unloved, unwanted, endangered, or only of value in meeting another's needs. That is, psychological abuse is one which will definitely kill anybody. Like not giving enough affection and always telling you are not worth, you are no good. So that is emotionally abusing the child. Some have defined it as a production of psychological and social defects in the growth of the child as a result of behavior such as loud yelling, coarse and rude attitude, inattention, harsh criticism, and disintegration of the child's personality. And if any child is undergoing this psychological abuse, the child will definitely turn into one who is not a good individual. Emotional abuse is more like psychological and can feel as destructive and damaging as physical abuse. So the mental health is affected. It's often used as a way to maintain power and control over someone. So if you want to exercise power or control, then you emotionally put down, you cause fear, verbally abuse, isolation, put them in isolation. Financial abuse, don't give them money. So they have to be dependent on you. Bullying, intimidation, you're worth nothing, like that. Some to name a few. Poverty refers to a situation when people's basic needs are not fulfilled. When people doesn't have necessary food to eat, or clothes to wear, or shelter to stay, then it is called poverty. Life becomes very difficult for people with income or below the poverty line. The major reasons or causes for poverty are they don't get proper education, which leads to poverty. People are poor because they are illiterate, because they cannot afford education. Illiteracy and poverty stay side by side. In case where the resources and opportunities are limited, the population is high, there arises a situation of joblessness, and that ultimately leads to poverty. There are many other reasons also, like caste system, unemployment, etc. Poverty may affect the moral and self-esteem of people living in extreme hardship. Poverty also results in building stress, which ultimately affects the relationship of people. It can be checked by increasing job opportunities, and government should take more steps towards charity. Trust, philanthropists should also have some transparency, and they have to spend money. There is a need for initiatives of paid leave to the workers. The education system should be reformed, and initiatives should be taken to bring more children to schools, and children who are coming from a less socio-economic status, they need to definitely get more attention, and they should be educated.